Hello, Human229 here, and this is going to be my second topic video. So, today's topic was submitted by tsundereichigo, Tumblr user tsundereichigo, and her topic that she sent was, what do you think of Bond's character development in Casino Royale? Do you see him as a hero or a villain? Another good question. So, I want to start talking a little bit about Casino Royale, since, guys, Casino Royale is like my favorite Bond movie. It's either my favorite or one of, like, the top. It's one of the best. It's a fantastic movie. I actually just rewatched it just a few hours ago, and because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I wanted to watch it and then give my thoughts on it, because, I never actually paid attention to Bond's characters much in this. And I saw a number of things that I hadn't seen before when I was rewatching it, and the movie's still as good as I remember. Amazing. Well, the first thing about this Bond character is that this is a Bond that we see him become a 00. We see him commit his first 2 kills to be considered a 00, and we see him begin his life as a 00. Now, we've never seen this before, and we've never seen a Bond this rough. And I think that's the one thing that really makes Craig's Bond stand out, is just how rough around the edges he is. Now, he can still be suave, but he's not as put together and, I just took out 3 guys with a mission. I took out 3 guys in this room. One-liner. We've never really seen this kind of Bond before. We've seen this in other different spy movies, but never Bond. Bond has always been shaken, not stirred. And I'm Bond. James Bond. Very, very suave, very, very put together. And this is supposed to be a different Bond. This is a rougher Bond. And I like it. That's one of the reasons I like his character so much. One thing I didn't notice about is that this Bond seems very unsure about what he's supposed to do. Now, I didn't actually think about this until I got to the end of the movie, and he was saying he was resigning from MI6, he was going to run off with Vesper, sail the world until they had to get jobs, and he was just going to leave it all. And I realized something. This Bond didn't know what he was. I looked at his expressions and how he was acting, and he seemed, in some ways, robotic. Purposefully so, an acting choice from Daniel Craig. And there's this one line from M. She says, I need you to keep your feelings out of this equation. But that's not really the problem, is it? And you realize this isn't because Bond is too emotional. It's almost because he's not emotional enough. To him, this is the job. And it's almost like he has nothing else, coming from what Vesper assumes to be an orphan and a troubled youth, basically. And as Michael Weston put it, good spies don't come from happy families. And that makes you realize something, that Bond probably, in all his training and all his life, had never really had anything to really fight for. Then MI6 gives him a purpose. You are an agent. And especially being a 00, you are a 00, licensed to kill, and he has a purpose. He has, and we see him fulfill this purpose. And, he's reckless and arrogant and stuff, but he still does it. And even they think he's taking a break, he's still working. And I think that's something that Bond, he commits himself entirely to something. Craig's Bond commits himself to this. And that's one thing that happened with Vesper. Once he found something to personally attach himself to, something to drive him, something to care for, he loved Vesper. And he was willing to just drop the whole 00, drop MI6. He loved her, he was going to leave it all for her. And, and you see him, I wouldn't say he grew. This is definitely a sad story. The character development is entirely leading him to becoming James Bond. It wasn't like making him grow as a person. It was making him James Bond, and that was the point. That's the point of Casino Royale. Now, talking about his specific character development, it's funny because he sort of remains fairly the same throughout the movie until he meets Vesper. And like I said, he fell in love with Vesper, and that's something he found to care about and something to drive him personally, rather than this is my duty, I have to do it. He had Vesper, and I really like that. I mean, you know, it's almost like, you know, when they say you meet the person you fall in love with, all of a sudden it's like black and white becomes color and something. I think that's almost what it was like for Bond. His character development was mostly, I don't want to say stagnant. It's not like he was making, you know, progress as a character. He was Bond, and he was doing his thing. He kind of didn't heed the advice of people, and he was basically just kind of doing what he wanted for most of the film. And, I mean, that was still towards his goal and towards his job, but he was still doing what he wants and doing how he wanted by rejecting the cover identity that he was given by MI6 by just someone going, oh yeah, by the way, go up to the reception, I'm James Bond. You'll find it under whatever name, Beach something. And I think the real point of the character development really comes to at the end. And I think that's the only time he actually makes a significant change as a character. Is that, you know, you see Mr. White in the car, and he calls him, and he shoots him in the leg, and Mr. White's crawling there, and Bond walks up in the suit, in the gun, and he was like, I'm Bond. James Bond. Because, you know, the movie had actually gone out of its way to subvert several Bond tropes, because Bond himself has become a cliche. It's not a bad thing. It's just cliche. A lot of stuff, shaken, not stirred, and Bond, James Bond, it's been parodied to hell and back. He subverted this. He subverted the suave most of the time. He could still be suave if he wanted to. He subverted, you know, always dressing up in a suit. He only dressed up in a suit for a part of the movie, honestly, near the end. For the most part of that, he wasn't even wearing a suit, which is actually kind of funny. They even parody the shaken not stirred line, and when the guy asks him, do you shaken not stirred, and he's just like, do I look like I give a damn? Which is still a great scene. That's probably one of the best scenes in the movie. And it was constantly showing how not Bond he was. But then at the end, you see him standing there in the suit, and he cracks that Bond, James Bond, and you know, you see him becoming James Bond. That is what his character development was. It wasn't happy. It was very sad. He lost himself. He died inside when Vesper died. And then you find out in Quantum of Solace that she died entirely pointlessly. That this man she loved and she was doing this for actually was another agent. Screw that guy. Screw that guy. But yeah, I think that's good enough for the character development. Now we're on to the second part of her question. Do I see Bond as a hero or a villain? Hero. Unambiguous hero. A gray hero. He's not a white hero. He's not a knight in shining armor. He kills people. They talk about that a lot. In fact, the beginning scene, a wonderful scene that's all done in black and white, when the guy, he's talking about how he needs to have 2 kills to do a 00, and he mentions that the second kill is easier. And he said, she just shoots him without a second thought. He's like, yeah, it is. Just even let him finish the sentence. And you see Bond kills several people throughout the movie without any hesitation. And yeah, he is not a good person, honestly. I mean, he could be. Honestly, if he dropped everything and went with Vesper, I think he could have been a good person. At least as good of a person as he can be, as messed up as he is from whatever mysterious childhood he had. And if anyone brings up Skyfall, I'm going to scream. Yeah, but yeah, he's a hero. A gray hero. He does bad things with a good purpose. He'll kill people, but he's always doing it for the greater good. Cue that scene in Hot Fuzz, the greater good. He's a good guy. He's on the side of good. He's a hero. He's not someone that you wouldn't look at him. He's not heroic, at least not most of the time. I mean, that's one of the things. He'll leave people stranded. You know, like when he was seducing the guy's wife to get information out of her. You know, And I mean, it's still a great scene when he doesn't sleep with her. He orders the champagne and just leaves because he needed to get on with his mission, and he really needed to because he had no time to waste. But I mean, honestly, it's not even a scene of, yeah, I'm not gonna sleep with you. He just leaves her, and you know, and he'll just he does bad things. He's a 00, licensed to kill. There's a reason why they're licensed to kill. I mean, they have to do extreme things to accomplish their missions. That's the point. It doesn't make Bond, I don't think, inherently a bad person. I think he makes him a very messed up person. And honestly, I think it affects him. And I think it was a line that he said, I think Vesper might have said it to him first, but then he was like he said, you do what I do long enough, and there won't be much of a soul to save. Or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact line, which is pathetic since I just watched the movie. But yeah, something along those lines. And you know, yeah, being a killer, doing it over and over and over and over and over again, killing, even if it's for a good purpose, it's going to destroy you. And I do kind of wish the Craig's Bond movies continued being good and didn't suck like Skyfall, so we can actually have seen the effects of this on him long term, which I really think, properly written, they would have, because these movies are darker, these movies are more gritty, and I like that. I like that action, the gritty, the real feeling, yeah, he's injured. But yeah, in terms of his character development, Bond, what I think of it, I mean, that's what the question was, right? It was what do I think of Bond's character? I actually really like it. It's very sad. It's depressing, really. In its own, like narratively, it's very sound, but it's still very sad that Vesper died. And she died trying to help him after she had betrayed him. And Bond was in love with her, and he lost her. He was betrayed by her, he lost her. And then he found out she was helping him and destroyed him. But it's almost like a phoenix. He came back as James Bond, and it was showing that he is becoming James Bond. And that's what this movie was. He was becoming James Bond. As for being a hero or villain, he's a hero. A gray hero who kills people to finish his mission. And he does everything with the intent of stopping evil. That's what it is. He wants to stop evil. And to stop evil, you have to do... And to stop evil, sometimes you have to do evil. And I think that's kind of the summary of Craig's Bond. More so than the other ones, because the other Bonds still kill, but this one really made it more personal. And I mean, I could go on and on and on for hours about Skyfall. Well, I could. That would be hateful. But I can go on for hours about how much I love Casino Royale. But I'm not. I only have 1 bar of battery life. And I've already answered the questions that I was sent. So, yeah, I think I've already pretty much said all I needed to say about that. So, if you want to send me a topic, if you're on YouTube, just comment below on a topic. Make sure it's something specific about something fictitious, or a movie, video game, TV show. Make it something specific, like this was about Bond's character development and his heroic status. Like the last video was about, do I think Janie Spring's core character was good? You know, something specific like that. Just ask me a question about it, and I'll answer that. If you're in Tumblr, send me an ask, but make sure to put topic : and then it, so that I know that it's for a topic video and it's not just a regular ask. Because if you just type out the question, I'll just answer it on my blog. Oh yeah, and if you don't know my blog, it's coolman229.tumblr.com. So, thank you for watching, and I guess tune in next week when I post my next video. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I have a list, but I don't have like a schedule. Hopefully, if I get enough submissions, I can set up a schedule. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.